Hey guys, welcome back to my sewing room. I'm Kelly and you found me here on Pick and Stitches, and today I'm going to be wrapping up this blanket. We're going to be doing a self-binding method here. It's super fast and easy. The minky on the back is going to make it easy. I just thought since this is kind of out of my normal wheelhouse that I would share it with you guys because it may be a little while before I do another one like this. So let's check it out. Okay. So this is a blanket that I made for my son Walter. You may have seen some of my other videos where I was trying to pick out what minky I was going to put on the back. I did end up going with this, I think this one's called Mallard, and I did just a geometric design on the long arm. And when I pulled it off, all I did was I went around the back of the minky, and from the back side I applied blue painter's tape to about where I thought I wanted to cut it. So I really was trying to split it so that my rotary blade would go from the top right through the middle of my tape. And so that's what I did. The reason I did that was a tip I saw over on Stitched by Susan. If you're not familiar with her, she does a lot of long arm quilting, edge to edge design, freehand. I love it. She's phenomenal. Definitely check her out if you're looking for some long arm tips, but she's got some other great videos too. So I definitely can't recommend her enough. Anyways, she had this tip and it was supposed to keep the minky from exploding all over the place. And I cannot tell you how much it saved me in time on that. So I definitely recommend applying painter's tape to the back of the area that you're about to cut before you cut it. And then when you do cut it, it won't make a mess like it normally does. So anyways, for this self-binding method, all I did was I left 3 inches of my backing all the way around. And now we're just going to do the easy part. So I'm going to take each corner and I'm going to take my big square ruler. So I'm going to be working on this diagonal line. So what I'm going to do is, okay guys, so this is going to be pretty simple and pretty fast. I do have a little bit of tape on the back side here. I'm going to just leave that for now until we get finished with this corner. A little bit of extra thread. Okay. So all we're going to do is take our square. In fact, you don't even need a square this large. It's just what I had in hand. And I'm going to line up with my diagonal line on this outside edge. I'm going to go to about a 3 1/4, and I'm going to place a piece of tape. And that is going to help me see on the back side where I want to tape. So I know I want to tape just inside of that, right? And that's a little bit wasteful, but I'll use this same piece of tape on my other corners. And you don't even have to do this because this is a pretty short run, but it just makes me crazy. I have so many threads and stuff around anyways. I want to minimize that if I can. Okay. So now we'll just take our ruler, oops, line it back up with that 3 1/4 and my 1/2 inch line, and we're just going to cut that off. That is all there is to it. So then I'll pull my tape out of the way, and all we're going to do is along these corners, after we've cut all 4, is flip them right sides together. Okay, so I'm going to flip this right sides together. And whenever I'm working with minky, I always pull out my big pins because I don't want to lose them in the fuzziness of it. So I'm going to hit those 2 corners first and then just throw a pin in it. And we'll take this over to the machine, and I'm just going to do a straight stitch, probably like just a hair wider than a 1/4 inch. And we'll do that on all 4 corners. Okay, so I moved my DX7 over here because I know I'm going to need it to do the final stitch on my binding. When I flip that up and over, we're going to do a zigzag stitch, and I didn't want to have to load up a bobbin for that machine and a bobbin for this machine. So I kind of have my QV18 off to the side. I'm actually using the thread stand from it because I'm using this great big spool. That's called the spool of yarn, Kelly. Spool from That's one of the ones that I got from Juki Junkies. That's a glide thread. It's the same that I used on the long arm where I did all of my geometric stitching. I like how it blended in the back with my fabric. So I just figured we'll just do one bobbin. That way I don't have a bunch of extras floating around. So all we're going to do is do a straight line stitch. Okay. So we're just going to sew down these 4 corners real quickly. And I'm just going to use a straight stitch, just like normal. If you hear that noise at the end of my cycle, this machine actually has a neat feature where it will partially lift your foot so you can pivot if you let off the gas completely. And in fact, you can change all the functionalities, but I have it set to do that so that when I'm appliquing, as soon as I stop stitching altogether, it gives it a little bit of relief so I can pivot. But it does make a little bit of extra noise, so sorry for that. I'm looking for my reverse button, you guys. Okay, so that's it. We're going to do that for all 4 corners. And then, whoops, all we have to do is flip it inside out like that. And I'm going to push out my corner. And then we're going to go all the way around the entire quilt. And I'm just going to pin down my binding. So I won't bore you to tears with all of that step, but I'm just going to every couple inches. And again, this is why I like my big flower pins, is just to make that really visible. Although I will say on the Tula Pink, it's not as visible as it is on some of my other fabrics. So I will sew all 4 of these corners and get it pinned and then show you how we're going to stitch it down. So I have all pinned down all the way around all of my binding here. And I'm still going to use this same Glide 60 weight polyester in Pixie. I've got it kind of creatively routed so that I could use it on my DX7 here. Okay, so I'm going to set this up for a zigzag. My normal stitch length right to left is going to be a 3.6. I'm going to bump that up to a 4. And my normal length is a 1.4. I'm going to bump that up to a 2.5. I feel like this minky wants to stretch a little bit, and so I just want to give it, I guess I'm going to bump it up to a 2.4 because I either have to do a 4 or 6. Because it likes to stretch a little bit. I just want to give myself some room to kind of work it in if I have any excess. Okay, so that is all we are going to do. I'm going to get centered. And then I'm going to draw up my thread. I like to draw up my thread because I feel like I'm kind of spoiled from that Q18. The thread cutting function is so short on it that I feel like anything else I sew with, it just bugs me that I feel like it's kind of creating those bird's nests on the back, and I don't want to see that. So, okay, now I'm going to be lining up. First, I've got to pull my thread back through that presser foot toe. I feel like I have fat hands today. Anybody ever have that problem? Maybe I had too much salt yesterday. Okay. So now I'm going to just let it stitch 1, and then I'm going to do a lock stitch because I have that option. And then I'm just going to go. We're just going to zigzag. And because this is minky, it's pretty much going to kind of disappear in here. If you find that your quilt is a little bit heavy to push through, which is what I'm finding because the minky is heavier than a typical quilt, and while it's slick, for some reason it feels like it's sticking, you may want to have your quilting gloves. That may help you push through a little bit. I may resort to those in a minute. Let's see how this all goes.
And my pins are not far enough to actually reach in there, but I am going to make sure that I'm pulling those out just in case. Oh, everything got shifted on me. Here we go. That's what I needed. So I feel like the pressure foot is pressing just a little too much, and it's got me pulling some fabric to the front that I don't want. So I'm just going to kind of help it along. And you may have to do that a little bit. On my Juki, I would be able to, on the QV18, I could raise that presser foot a little bit. And there may be an adjustment on this one. Let's see what that does. Let's try that. That may give me enough relief. And you could always use a walking foot. The whole purpose of the walking foot is to pull it through on the top as it's feeding through on the bottom. But this appears to be helping kind of just to push through from the top a little bit. It's not taking much, just a little bit of extra help. And then I'm going to sew all the way to that corner and pivot. I don't know if you saw me, I made the needle jig that one last time because I want it to end in my fabric. That way when I pivot, it will come over into the minky to grab that other side. Okay, guys. So there we have it. That's our finished binding. I added this as a bit of a finishing touch. My kids always love a good minky. Because of the way I quilted this, you can see the zigzag in the back. If that's going to bother you, then I don't suggest you do it this way. But for me, this is going to be one of those blankets that is well loved and washed a gazillion times, and it's going to be just fine for us. So I will try to get it. I don't know, it's pretty heavy. I don't know if I can get it on the design wall. If I can, I will, so you guys can see some pictures of it. Maybe I can hang up a clothesline outside. Okay, guys, so that was a fast and easy way to bind a quilt. I think it turned out super cute. Again, you don't have to make the binding this fat. When something's kind of cuddly, I think it's fun for it to have a little bit more purchase on the front. So let me see if I can hold this one up. This is a big quilt, you guys. My kids like to cuddle on the couch, and so I just wanted to make something that was, a couple kids can climb under this one. But this is, again, just a fast and easy self-binding quilt. The back is going to show that geometric pattern that we did. And then also I've got the zigzag showing through. So if you don't want to see the zigzag, then this may not be the quilt for you. Or maybe if you went with a minky that was really fuzzy, then you probably wouldn't see it at all. But with this one, it's a shorter nap. It's definitely visible, but it's going to be just fine for us. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you do like my tutorials or any of my unboxing videos, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. Also, don't forget about our private Facebook group. I love getting to see the projects that you guys have on your table and what it is that you're working on. And this is definitely a fun way to get to have a two-way communication that we can't always have here on YouTube. So go to Pick and Stitches over on Facebook and ask to join that private Facebook group. I'd love to see what you've got on your table. And until then, I will see you guys next time. This thing is huge. Okay, Walter, come here, buddy. Stand right there. Can you come here so you can see? Ready? Come here. 1, 2, look. What do you think?
Good.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Look at the back.
Oh, it's my favorite color.
It's your favorite color. Heidi likes it too. You want to feel it?
It feels so good.
It feels so good. Do you like it?
Yeah.
All right. Where are we going to put it?
My bed because I don't have a blanket.
Okay. You take it up to your bed then?
Okay.
All right. Enjoy your quilt. It's bigger than you are.